Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing an Alfred Hitchcock film. This is from 1944. It's a black and white movie. Obviously directed by Alfred Hitchcock, and this film is called Lifeboat. This is one of his lesser known films, so chances are you haven't seen it. If that's the case, hopefully you find this review interesting enough. The story to Lifeboat is as follows. In the Atlantic during World War II, a ship and a German U-boat are involved in a battle and both are sunk. The survivors from the ship gather in one of the lifeboats. They are from a variety of backgrounds: an international journalist, a rich businessman, the radio operator, a nurse, a steward, a sailor, and an engineer with communist tendencies. Trouble starts when they pull a man out of the water who turns out to be from the U-boat. Later, the survivors are spotted by the German supply ship Willie had been steering them to, but before it can pick them up, it is sunk by an American warship. A frightened young German seaman boards the lifeboat, brandishing a gun. After he is disarmed, one of the survivors asks, "What should we do with him?" So the movie is set during World War II. Their ship is sunk, and the survivors of this ship seek refuge in a lifeboat. Now, this ship was in battle with a German U-boat, and it turns out that the U-boat was sunk as well. Now, a survivor from this German U-boat has seek refuge in the same lifeboat, and the people that were in it before, they don't trust the German. Obviously, he's the enemy. So it's a real game of psychological wit, as half of the crew in this lifeboat, they want to throw the German overboard, and the other half don't. So it really is a game of trust. Can they trust the German? The German ends up taking command of this boat because he is actually a captain. And so the people, the survivors of the other ship, they're left with little choice but to believe the German, because otherwise they're going to die at sea. So the movie pretty much takes off from there, and there are a lot of twists and turns as a lot of truths are brought out into the open. So if you want to know how the movie unfolds, please go out there and see this one for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with a synopsis. Now, my thoughts on the film. As I said, this is one of the lesser known Alfred Hitchcock films, so I went into it with not knowing what to expect, but obviously just the name Alfred Hitchcock puts the expectation levels up very high. He's the king of suspense, so I was hoping that this was going to be a very suspenseful film. Unfortunately, it doesn't live up to the movies like Rear Window, The Birds, Psycho. I just don't feel it was as suspenseful as it probably should have been. Now, what I liked about the movie was the fact that it's an experimental film. Alfred Hitchcock wanted to use a movie with just one setting. The whole movie takes place in a lifeboat. And just hearing that, you'd kind of think that maybe it got a little bit boring. But surprisingly, with little action, it doesn't get boring. And that's down to the script and the way that Alfred Hitchcock has made the film. I thought it was a game of trust. It's a very psychological film. And it really does show what humanity is capable of when you're facing a desperate situation. When fear sets in, all bets are off, and that even the most timid person can turn violent. And that's what I really liked about the movie. It was a character study of people who, when they're facing something very dire, they can transform as a person, and you kind of left thinking whether or not it's the Nazi who is the bad guy, or in fact it's the people who are from the United States who are the bad guy, the British. So, it really does play with your thoughts and the level of trust. You don't know whether to trust this German. There are some instances where you do trust him and some instances where you don't. But the motivation behind the German is never put out in the open. It's never clear as to whether or not he is bad or not. So it leaves it up to the viewer to find out, to really find that out for yourself and make your own conclusion, which, makes it very thought-provoking. And that's what I like most about the movie. Now, for its time, the special effects were very good. I thought that the scenes where the storms hit the boat, I thought that was the most thrilling part of it, which is good and bad. The storms were very well done. For its time, I was very surprised, but unfortunately, the storms are few and far between. And in between those storms, I thought that it kind of meandered along and it struggled with its pacing. The acting, it's said to be, sensational acting, especially from Tallulah Bankhead. I didn't think the acting was that great, to be honest. I thought that was a little bit overrated, and unfortunately I feel that the whole movie was overrated in many departments. Now, as I said, for an Alfred Hitchcock film, this just isn't that suspenseful. It really should have been, because when the German starts doing things and they start realizing what the German is keeping hidden, I thought that it was an opportunity for Alfred Hitchcock to really stamp his trademark suspense. And unfortunately, surprisingly, he didn't really do it. And as a result of that, I thought that by the end, I was kind of left a little bit bored. and I wanted so much more from it, and I thought that with a better ending, it could have left the door open a little bit more. But I thought that by the end of it, it came across as a little bit of a propaganda film, and it kind of labeled Nazis as the bad guys and the Allies as the good guys, and it really didn't show the humanity of war. It kind of painted it in black and white, which was very disappointing because majority of the film wasn't black and white, but I thought that Alfred Hitchcock took the easy road out, and it was filmed during the war, so I guess, you can kind of forgive him for that. But I actually thought that it would have been better leaving the door open, because the majority of the film, it leaves you not sure what to believe. So, yeah, as far as Alfred Hitchcock is concerned, it's one of the weaker films. I'm only giving it 2.5 stars. I mean, it is good as far as an experimental film, but yeah, if you're comparing it to Hitchcock's other works, then this one is a little bit overrated and one of the lesser, the more forgettable films from what was a great director. So yeah, a little bit disappointing, not coming recommended, but if you're a die-hard Hitchcock fan, then I would say go out there and give it at least one viewing. So that's my review of Lifeboat. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.